What's going on, guys? Two Wheel Pursuit here, back again. In this video we're going to go over some of the things that you can do to prepare for the MSF or motorcycle license test, whatever it's called, where you're from. We're going to go over some of the basic basic things that you can practice on your own motorcycle, you know, on back roads or in a parking lot, whatever, to prepare yourself for that test. If you're not, this is more targeted at people who aren't planning on doing the whole MSF course, because the MSF course is pretty detailed. They give you a lot of stuff, a lot of training in that, and then at the end of the MSF course you actually take the test, and I mean pretty much everyone passes that test. However, some places where I live, you need to go through that course. You can't like get a permit and practice on your own bike and then go do the test. Aside from the course, you actually have to take the course, so it's a little bit different for me. But for most people, if you want, you can just get a bike, get a permit, and then you have to go schedule a time to go take the test, and from there you can get your full motorcycle endorsement. And I believe that's pretty much the same concept in parts of Europe as well. Alright, so this parking lot is actually a pretty good size because it gives you a realistic size to practice in. So, first thing that you're going to want to do to get ready is get used to where your clutch friction zone is. Mine is actually a little bit different because this bike has modified clutch lever. So I've adjusted. It's actually adjustable there, you can see. So you want to play with that. How you do that is put it into first gear, hold on to the front brake if you want. If you hold on to the front brake, then you'll slowly let it out, and you see the RPM start to change. You can look right there. It's that one, and it goes down just like that. That's where the friction zone is. And then once you're comfortable, you say, okay, I think I know where it is. Then from here, without giving any throttle, right, covering the brake, slowly let out the clutch, and you can see it slowly moving the bike forward. All right, just a little bit. Slowly let that out, because they're going to want to see this clutch control. That's a very important part of the test. So you're going to let it out, and you can see there you're going a little bit, not giving it any gas. You can work on turning the bike like that with using only the clutch, and keep your feet down at first. You're going to want to work on turning the bike using only the clutch control. And you're going to want to start with your feet off the pegs, because you're going to be more comfortable that way. But the reason I'm telling you to do this is one of the hardest parts of the test that most people fail on is they're going to have you do some sort of, usually a half turn or a full turn, using primarily only the clutch. You're going to do it at about 5 miles an hour, going from a standstill. So say if they want me, they're going to give me like a box, and they're going to say, okay, they want you to do a full turnaround, a U-turn in this box, without your feet touching the ground. So to do that, you have to get going, bring your feet up, yeah, that was actually pretty good. So as you can see, both of my feet were up there, and then you come around and you just keep practicing that, using the clutch control, working on where the weight of your feet should be. You see, I'm just using the clutch right now, very slow. Both of my feet are up. I feel like I'm in complete control of the bike. And this is something that you can just keep going around like this, only using the clutch, and just doing figure eights like this, just going around. Give it a little bit of rear brake if you feel like you're going a bit too fast. Just working on that clutch control. Another thing is, when you're doing figure eights like this, it's good because you get to go in both directions. Usually most of the tests, they only have you go in one direction, but you see my steering is fully locked at that point, so I'm turning as much as I can. Yep, just using the clutch. That's all they want. Another thing that helps some people in this is using the rear brake. You can use the rear brake a little bit, but primarily speaking, if your bike is under 600 cc's, you should be fine just using the clutch. And you can see, yeah, I lost it there. My right turns need a little bit of work, but just using the clutch. And basically what you want to do is work on that clutch control so you can be going through these turns and not stalling the bike, because at these speeds, if you're in a full turn like this and you just drop the clutch, you could actually stall the bike, which will make the bike stop. All the weight will go to the front wheel and suddenly you have no more momentum, so you're probably going to drop the bike. So just going around like this, just practice your figure eights. Like I said, it's important to make sure that no one else is in the parking lot. You don't want to be annoying people. Alright, another part to this is if you put most of the weight on the opposite peg of the direction you're going, that will make it a lot easier to turn. So for example, I'm going to be making a left turn here. I'm going to put almost all the weight of my foot on the right peg while I do the turn. Just like that. And this is a lot harder than it looks, trust me. You're going to get on the bike and think, wow, this is difficult, but this is a very good exercise. So if you have your bike, you're on your permit, this is a good exercise to do. Just go out and it's best maybe you can bring some traffic cones or something to mark, at least try to have a mark of where you're turning, the area in which you're turning, so you have a goal. Say, I want to be able to turn in this small of an area. Like right here, I'm turning in a very small circle, so yeah, that is very, very tight. You can see my marker right there is I'm using the edges of the white lines, saying I don't want to go past those of the parking spaces. Oh, I had to put my foot down. So if you put your foot down, it's okay for if you're just practicing, but during the test, you obviously don't want to put your foot down. That is a fail in pretty much all the tests that I've seen. So yeah, I put my foot down again. If you cut the steering too fast, you're probably going to have to put your foot down. But like I said, work on the clutch control, work on your speed. I'm going around these at 3 miles an hour. That's a difficult speed to go at. So, that's the first exercise. The next exercise, we're going to need to get some speed. That looks like a good place right there. Alright. So, for this exercise, make sure that there's no cars around, no people preferably. I see a few cars coming from down there, so it's most important that there's no cars coming from behind you, but I'm just gonna wait here to see what those cars do. So this exercise is going to be going in a straight line, and you want to look at a point in the road that you want to stop. So try to have some sort of marker of where you're thinking you want to hit the brakes, and where do you want to stop from, or where do you want to actually have the bike stop. From the point that you start braking, where do you want to have the bike actually stop? And that should be very close. I think it was, the requirement was 20 feet. They basically want you to go in like 40 feet as fast as you can go, get to whatever speed you can go at, and then after you get to the 40 feet, they want you to stop as fast as you can, and you have to stop within 20 feet. I believe that was what it was. I don't remember the exact, and like I said, it's going to change depending on what test you're actually taking, but go ahead and show you what that looks like right now. One thing to keep in mind is this is going to be different if you have ABS or non-ABS. It's going to be a bit more difficult if you have non-ABS. And we'll say right from there, and I can see a little black mark up there. I have a little yellow marker here so I can mark, I have an idea of how far I want to go before I brake. And then when I get up there, I want to work on braking as short of distance as I can. Right, looks good. And as you can see right there, my brakes, that was pretty good. I was aiming for that black mark right there for where I wanted to brake. I didn't give it full throttle, so that wasn't quite an accurate test, but it was still pretty good. Well, looks like traffic's picking up a little bit there, so hopefully you guys get the idea of that exercise. Basically, the idea is you want to work on practicing your braking. It's an emergency braking exercise, really. You want to see how fast you can brake using both the front and rear brakes. You want to pull them in, really lock down on them, and see how fast can you actually brake. It's a good thing to know too, especially at different speeds. So that exercise right back there that I did, that's really good. You want to practice that and do your best at getting good stopping speeds. So those two exercises alone are probably going to have you set pretty well for whatever kind of training or whatever kind of testing you're going to need to go through. But I will show you one more exercise that is good. They might have you do. This one's going to be a little bit difficult to demonstrate, so try to figure out the best way. So this one, they want you to demonstrate swerving. Demonstrate that you can, if you're going down the road, you can swerve your motorcycle using counter steering to get out of the way. So they're going to have you stop maybe about 100 feet back, and they're going to have you get up some speed, and there's going to be a cone or something in your way, and you're going to have to take a really good left turn. Usually it's a left turn, sometimes it's right, or they might do both, but you're just going to want to go around it, and then they usually have you come to a stop. Doesn't need to be like an immediate stop, but usually have you come to a stop. If you guys have access to something that you can weave around, that's good. Or, you know, just look at something in the road, like right here. I'll say no traffic behind me. Good. So stop right here and say I'm thinking of something down there in the road. I look at a part of the road and want to think of something there. I go, and right there, just weave around it. Work on feeling comfortable bringing your bike side to side. That's really all they want to see from that exercise. Alright, so to recap, the 3 things that I think you guys should practice before going into any kind of motorcycle test is work on the tight turning, slow speed, very slow speed maneuvers. Alright, so that means doing the figure eights like I showed you, working on the clutch control. That's very important. I can't get over how important it is to have very good clutch control. That's probably the most important thing for anyone going into some sort of motorcycle test, clutch control. And then you also have the emergency braking. You want to be familiar with your motorcycle, be familiar with your braking system. Do you have ABS or not? Make sure that you practice emergency braking at least a few times. It's nothing that you need to be afraid of. Even though it's something happening very quickly, it's better that you practice it now than either during the test or if some car actually pulls out in front of you and you're going to have a really bad day. And of course, the third thing, like I said, is weaving. So imagine that you see something in the road, you know, however far up. Say there's an animal in the road. You just weave around it, come to a stop, turn around, practice again. Very simple exercises, guys, but for me, I remember back when I couldn't do those anywhere near as good as I do them now. So really something that you do want to practice. Like I said, if you have your own bike, even better, get out and practice the stuff. And I think you should pass any kind of motorcycle test, no problem. It's not like there's going to be a test where they're going to tell you to do a wheelie or do anything too crazy. So it's just really basic motorcycle skills, and they want you to demonstrate that you know how to control the motorcycle. Basically, make sure that you won't be a threat to yourself or other people on the road. So that's all I got for this video, guys. I hope this helped you. I know it definitely would have helped me back when I was getting ready for my MSF course, the MSF test. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Of course, I will do my best to respond to them, give you guys some sort of an answer. If you guys would like to see any other videos around anything specifically, you know, related to this topic or anything different, also feel free to let me know and I'll do my best to make a video on it. Other than that, that's all I got for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, you guys ride safe.